Our three half-ghosts were floating around in the ghost zone, and it seemed that they were doing a bit of training practice. Danny told Danielle to try again, with Dan and the Fright Knight throwing stones their way as the young half-ghost girl was screaming but not quite getting it right. Sighing, Danny told Dan to tag in. Maybe he could explain it to Danielle a little better, with the two trading places. Danielle questioned if she really needed to do all this, and Dan asked if she wanted to get stronger or not. Sighing, she nodded. And then they continued their training with Dan trying to explain how the ghostly whale worked. Though it seemed she still wasn't quite getting the hang of it, she did manage a small bit of energy that time. The half-ghost girl says that it's too hot to be doing training, with Fright Knight telling her that's why they are doing it in the ghost zone, instead of somewhere in Amity Park. To which she responds that there would be less stuff to accidentally break. Danny then says that too, but the ghost zone is cooler than on Earth. We then see Jack poking his head through the Fenton portal and told them to come on out. Vlad says that he's got something to help with the heat wave going on. Danny tells them that he's got to see this. Training's done for now. Danielle's at least got a basic grasp on how the ghostly whale works. They all wanted to see that and went to where Vlad was, holding up something he called a rain machine and blasted into the sky. We then see a ghost with a tornado for a tail saying that Plasmius is tired of the heat wave they ordered, then let there be rain. They watch as clouds begin to form into the sky, as they hear thunder rumbling in the distance and lightning struck across the sky before droplets of rain began to fall, getting stronger and stronger and going from sprinkling to full-on raining with the crowd cheering. Danny sighed, saying another thing they'd have to deal with. Just great. We see later Vlad speaking to the ghosts, calling them Vortex, saying that they had done well, bringing his ratings up by 82%. The ghost says that the rain is nothing compared to what he'll do once he's free, like creating an iceberg in the middle of the Sahara Desert. Vlad says that he'll be looking forward to seeing that, but first he needed them to stop the rain. The ghost Vortex got angry, saying that he's not stopping anything. Though Vlad tries the device he'd used earlier, it busted, freeing Vortex as they flew off, and Vlad chased after them in ghost form, blasting them in the back as Vortex turned and struck Vlad with lightning. They then told Plasmius that since he refused their freedom, he was going to unleash the worst storm ever created, and that they were unleashing the Maelstrom while making a giant skull of green and black clouds appear over Amity Park. We cut back to Danny and his family watching the news, and Jazz says this is awful, Jack mentioning that Vlad's ratings are down, with every ghost member of Team Phantom giving him a funny look, as the windows were busted out due to the winds, and the ghost members of the team grabbed the couch where Danny's parents and sister were, going intangible as glass struck the floor, breaking apart upon impact. Maddie questioned what could be causing such crazy pressure, and the Fright Knight suggests that it could have something to do with that giant green skull floating around. Nodding, Danny says that they should all check it out, but first they needed to board the windows. Instead of nailing it down, they simply faced the boards into place, making the job go faster, and they heard the doorbell ringing. They see Vlad at the door as he says that he needs their help in taking down Vortex. Recognizing the name, Dan and the Fright Knight both yell at Vlad for unleashing Vortex and asked if he was out of his mind. Jack asked who Vortex was, and Dan tells them that Vortex is a ghost that controls the weather. He creates chaos wherever he goes. The Fright Knight then added that Vortex once flooded their world by making it rain for almost a month and a half straight. Danny contacted Tucker and Sam, telling them to make sure that their families stayed inside. Things are going to be crazy, and then he and the other ghost members of his team flew off to go take down Vortex. Vlad ditches first chance he gets, and Team Phantom tell Vortex that his time is up, and they all blast him at once, making him angry as he tried to fight back, though unlike in the show, he was well outnumbered. Getting angry, Vortex causes lightning to strike the five of them, partially damaging their suits, as he clawed them away while stunned. They then tried to unleash powerful tornadoes, though Danny said to aim for the center of the funnels. Once inside, everything was eerily calm, and Danielle questioned where they were, to which Dan responds, the eye of the storm, before then asking what now, with Danny thinking about it for a moment and getting an idea in his head, saying that if he could barely handle 5 of them, what if he had more to handle? They raised an eyebrow in response to Danny's question, and then we cut to Cujo jumping from the tornado with Danielle on his back as he charged at Vortex, with Danielle blasting at him to get his attention, and the Fright Night flying from the tornado next. The three were flying around distracting them as Cujo bit down on his arm and began to shake the weather ghost violently. This distracted Vortex, causing him to lose focus and making the tornado he created vanish, showing 4 of Danny and 4 of Dan, meaning they created copies of themselves. And then all of them began to blast at them. They told Danielle to try the whale, as the 9 of them all took a deep breath and unleashed the ghostly whale at once from multiple sides. Danielle starting to lose a bit, but tried to focus, screaming louder and making the whale power up to full-powered ghostly whale. They continued this until the copies of our main half-ghost hero and their older alternate future self faded out of existence, making Vortex drop onto the ground hard, completely unable to fight back. And Danny tossed Danielle the Fenton thermos, telling her that she's earned it. Nodding, she then blasted Vortex with the thermos, capturing the weather ghost inside. Seeing the damage to their costumes, Dan suggested heading out to get new ones made. Nodding, they agreed to that idea and headed off as the skies began to clear, phasing into Fenton Works and then telling the family what happened and how they were gonna get new costumes tailored, and headed off to the ghost zone to find the person that made Dan's costume. They all got new costumes made, Danny telling them that he was feeling nostalgic, so decided to go with an inverted costume this go around. Danielle saying that she liked the pretty blue color. Dan's costume was also inverted, but he went with the same color scheme. The Fright Night's costume was basically exactly the same, except with the added logo of Team Phantom.